So now we want to talk about a little bit about Operation Phoenix. Can you give us your perspective on Operation Phoenix? Do you feel that Measure Z was used effectively?
I think that before Measure Z even came before the voters, when Mayor Morris and I had a long conversation about Measure Z, as a quarter-cent sales tax, I felt it was going to hurt the community out of their pocketbooks.
Mm-hmm.
And that those that have less money to spend on a monthly basis, every quarter cent can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And when you spend $100 on groceries, that $2.50, I know doesn't sound like a lot, but to a family that's struggling, I think it does sound like a lot.
Yeah.
Every penny counts to a family that's struggling.
Yeah.
And I told him that I thought that was the wrong road to go down in terms of additional revenues. However, I told him that if you can get the voters to agree to it, I will keep my mouth shut and we'll go from there. So I didn't agree with the sales tax portion of it in advance. Let me give you that background. What I did feel was that once the money started to come in, if it did pass by the voters, that it really needed to go to all of the police officers on the streets. That 40 additional officers, which was what was promised with Measure Z, did happen, but it happened for a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also told the mayor that you'll collect a large amount of money, and that large amount of money will be a large maybe the first year, but the second year, the third year, and the fourth year, it will dwindle.
Yes.
And that's exactly what's happened. Now, as far as Operation Phoenix is concerned, a lot more money was spent on Operation Phoenix than people realize. And the reason it's difficult to pinpoint that number is because the budget itself never had a line item that said Operation Phoenix. Like you couldn't go to your checkbook and say, how much was spent on Operation Phoenix? So many different resources, so many different pieces of the personnel puzzle were used for Operation Phoenix.
Oh, I see.
Parks and Rec,
Right.
police, code, fire, a lot of different functions within City Hall, some of the administration. And so when you add all of that up, there was a large price tag to Operation Phoenix. And the real sad part in my mind for Operation Phoenix is when you make promises to a certain member of the community, a family, let's just say, at 16th and Sierra Way, let's just say, the family there was promised, we'll be here, we're your community, you have issues, here's the phone numbers you can call.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens when you can't provide those services anymore? You've made a promise to a sector of the community. My concern at the very beginning was if you can't follow these families and prove that the program was a success over time, then how are you going to substantiate to the voters that that quarter-cent sales tax was worth it?
Right.
And so in my mind, the theory was great, the philosophy was good, but the follow-through was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I also said, let's talk about the little kids. The little kids, we're hoping that we make a difference in their lives. We hope that this is the influence and the memory in their minds that pushes them through high school, let's just say. Everybody has maybe one of those people in their lives. I know I do. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's just have them bring in their report cards once a quarter or once a semester or once every half of a year. See if there is positive progress. And I was told by the mayor's son, we can't do that. That's the privacy issue.
Mm.
That bothered me. It bothered me because here we are trying to help families, but we need to prove to the taxpayers the money that you're spending is for this program, and here's the success.
Right. And I want to touch on, now that we're talking about the children, one of the parts of this was prevention.
Right.
And the Blair Park skate park, from my understanding, kind of came out of this whole thing.
The Spiker Park skate park came out of that thing.
And I remember growing up, I really didn't know anything about what's going on, but I knew they were building a skate park.
Right.
And it was a big deal. Right. Everybody was going there. They locked the gates, and we jumped the gate because we wanted to skate at night and whatnot, and it was excellent.
Right.
So, I feel like we were to see more things like that, that's really good. I think it was successful as far as prevention, because a lot of the kids that I knew that were doing X, now that we're at the skate park skateboarding.
Doing Y, which is a better thing for everybody.
Exactly.
I agree. I actually was worried about the skate park early on, and here's the reason why. I was afraid that some kid was going to fall, break 6 legs, 7 arms, and 19 ribs, whatever the case may be, and then their parents would sue the city.
Yeah.
And then you end up putting the taxpayers on the hook for that money. When Spiker Park's skate park was put in, which is the area that I represent, I was excited. I was excited because it was all grant funded, first of all. And second of all, I was hoping that those families in those neighborhoods would start to keep an eye on that park and pay attention to make sure that the kids that were doing X, they shouldn't be doing X over there, that would help to try to weed out some of these kids that were causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
They were tagging everything. They were destroying the ramps. They were destroying the fencing. And so it's a great thing to begin with, but then you need the neighborhood follow through to keep it up.
Yeah, you need to keep it up.
Otherwise, kids are going to worry about going there. The good kids
no,
are going to worry about going
That's
there.
true, yeah. So, but it definitely could work. And I mean, why not have some beautiful murals in those skate ramps too? You
Okay,
know?
well, what are you waiting for?